So there's AJ, look at him, beautiful dog, he's got his bowl with him. And Rosie. So I just did a run. I have no idea how long. I didn't take no phone, just myself and my thoughts. And would say it's a form of meditation. Depends if you love it or not. My son yesterday said, oh, I'm going to go run. He's the skinniest one out of all of us. We'll go for a run because he's going away on holiday and you don't want to be fat. I was like, you're not fat, Matt. I said, come out for a run with me. He said, what time are you going? I went, I don't know, between 4 and 6. He said, don't want to go till 8. I said, oh well. So we went out at 20 past 5. I did a bit on. Have no idea how far I went. And I'm not particularly worried about it because I love running. Had a few messages come through, which was great. Told me what to work on. I have so many books I'm working on, it's like absolutely magic. And then they all come together. And then I release them all. Gosh. But the best thing about the books, for me, hang on, there's a bus coming. So, when I get my books, I read them myself. Because sometimes when you do things, but I don't read the books for that I wrote them. I read the books because they have a message in. And I spoke to this young lady yesterday, and she's only been up her end for a little while. I speak to all my neighbours. And she said, oh, isn't it a beautiful day? I said, it's a beautiful day, whatever the weather. And she said, oh, I like your positivity. So we turned around and said, hang on a minute. We turned around and said, she said, well, even if it rains. I said, especially when it rains. She said, but you get wet. I said, but do you know what the rain is? And she said, no. I said, it's liquid sunshine. And she's like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. I said, it's beautiful. I said, and all the raindrops that happen to fall on you chose to fall on you. And if you're still and listen, you can hear the music from the rain. How amazing is that? And then we've got our other new neighbours who just bought a house, and they're walking down the road with me. I went into my gate because I'm right at the top. Oh, as I came out my gate, they walked down and they went into the house. I said, oh, hi. I said, you're the new neighbours. And she said, yeah. So I spoke to them for like 20 minutes. And I said, where are you from? She said, we come from Norfolk. Been up there, I don't know, over 20 years. And she said, we was having a chat. And she said, I like it here because I can go into town and have a coffee. She said, but I'm a bit of a coffee snob. I said, you know what? I said, I've been drinking coffee for just over a year, or maybe, come up 2 years. Don't drink it a lot. I do drink it. I said, but I drink organic coffee and I get raw milk delivered and I drink it with raw milk. She went, oh, and I thought I was a coffee snob. I said, but at the end of the day, you have to do things for what you love. And so I said, I buy all my, if you go into town, there's a shop. I told her the shop. I said, get all my veg and fruit there, with apple bits. And I said, I go up the top of Woodbridge Road, not the very top, but the top of the hill. I said, I buy all my bread from the bakery. And I said, if you go on a bit further, I buy all my meat from the butchers, which we don't eat a lot of meat anyway. Get it for my mum mainly and my son. So she's like, oh, that's great. And I said, and if you go on a little bit further than that, there's another greengrocers. I said, so I don't go in Sainsbury's hardly at all, quite honest with you. I need to buy my mum's food, like not food, her breakfast cereal. But, you know, you've got to do what makes you happy. It's what I said to that young girl yesterday. She's so beautiful. I'm not going into her story because it's got nothing to do with this. And I said, you know what? I said, remember how strong you are because you are amazing. Absolutely. You've got to live your life for what you want, and nobody else is living your life for you. And when people open up, when people open up their thoughts and realise they're the only people that are stopping themselves from doing whatever they want, it's a game changer, literally. And then they learn about all vibrations and manifestations. And yeah, see the outcome, start living it. And she's so nice. And her little son said, I told her about my books. And I said to her, do you know what? I said, it doesn't matter who you are. If you make a difference in this world for yourself and others, then that's amazing, darling. And if you don't love yourself today, remember, I love you. And you're worth all the abundance and prosperity in this world can give you. That's it. And with that, I will do maybe a live tomorrow, maybe not.